No one on Earth expected the signal to come that day. It was a calm morning across most of the planet. Cities were quiet, skies were clear, and people were living their normal lives. But far above the clouds, something strange appeared on the radar screens of every space monitoring station. At first, scientists thought it was just debris or a meteor shower. But the readings didn't match. The shapes were too organized, too controlled. Within minutes, telescopes confirmed it. 5 enormous alien fleets had entered the solar system. The message came soon after. It wasn't friendly. 5 different alien empires had joined forces. They called themselves the Galactic Alliance of Supremacy. Their message was simple. Humanity must surrender and accept their rule. They laughed at Earth's defenses and said our ships looked like toys compared to theirs. In the United Nations headquarters, leaders from every country gathered. Fear was heavy in the air. No one had ever seen ships so large, stretching kilometers long. Glowing with strange blue energy, General Marcus Hale, commander of Earth's Defense Coalition, stood silent as the alien transmission repeated again and again. He finally spoke. "They think we are weak," he said quietly. "They don't know what we've been building." For years, humanity had worked in secret on something called Project Helios, a hidden defense program buried deep in Earth's orbit. It was meant to be a last resort. No one outside the highest command even knew it existed. The aliens arrived in formation, spreading across the edge of Earth's orbit like a dark storm. Their ships shimmered in the sunlight, casting long shadows over the blue planet below. They sent another message, mocking and confident. "Humans," their leader said, his voice cold and proud. "You are primitive. Your technology is hundreds of years behind ours. We offer mercy. Surrender now and we might spare your world." In mission control, silence filled the room. The transmission ended, leaving only the soft hum of computers. General Hale turned to his officers. "Open the Helios network," he ordered. Some officers hesitated. "Sir, the Helios ships haven't been tested." "We don't even know if they'll work," Hale interrupted. His voice was calm but strong. "They have to." Deep under the oceans and hidden launch bases, massive silos opened. Around the moon, secret docking stations powered up. And from the shadows of Earth's orbit, something began to move. For decades, humanity had pretended to be weaker than it truly was. The alien empires had always watched Earth but never saw beyond what humans allowed them to see. While the aliens fought among themselves in distant galaxies, humanity had learned, copied, and improved. Now, it was time to show the truth. Aboard the alien flagship, Commander Vor of the Tishal Empire watched his display screens as hundreds of Earth ships powered up. His deep violet eyes narrowed. How can this be? They were supposed to have only a few destroyers, not a fleet. Another alien laughed. "They're bluffing. Look at the size of those ships. They're small and fragile." But as the Earth fleet came into formation, something strange happened. Their ships didn't scatter or hesitate. They moved in perfect coordination, glowing with a faint golden light. Their engines were quiet, efficient, almost elegant, and then the lead human ship appeared. It wasn't on any alien record. It was massive, larger than any Earth ship ever known. Its hull shone with silver armor, and strange blue patterns pulsed across its surface. The name on the side read, EDF Invictus. On board, Captain Elena Cross watched the alien fleets through the main display. "They still think we're weak," she said softly. "Let's show them how wrong they are." General Hale's voice came through the comms. "All units prepare defensive posture. No one fires unless I give the order. We let them make the first move." The alien fleets moved closer. Their energy weapons began to charge, glowing like miniature suns. On Earth, billions watched the live feed in silence. News anchors whispered updates. Families held hands. Then, the first alien shot crossed space, a beam of violet light faster than sound, cutting through the darkness toward the Invictus. It hit the human flagship directly. When the explosion cleared, the Invictus was still there. Its shields shimmered but held strong. Gasps filled every control room across the world. Captain Cross smiled slightly. "Shields at 90%, her officer reported. "Return the greeting," she said. The Invictus fired. A single beam of golden light cut through the void, splitting one of the alien cruisers clean in half. The rest of the alien commanders went silent. Humanity had just answered. And for the first time, the 5 alien empires realized that Earth might not be as helpless as they thought. As the fleets began to shift into battle formation, General Hale whispered to himself, "So it begins, the unexpected war." The stars above Earth burned brighter that night, and somewhere in the silence between worlds, humanity took its first step into a war that would change everything. The space around Earth had turned into a battlefield of silence and light. After the first exchange, both sides paused. The 5 alien empires were stunned. Their combined fleets had never met resistance from a young race before, certainly not one from a single blue planet on the edge of the galaxy. On the bridge of the alien flagship Vatheron, Commander Vor's voice echoed across his control deck. "How did they block our beam? That ship, how is it possible?" His advisors scrambled for answers. "Their shields are unknown to our scanners. Their energy readings are unstable, almost alive." Commander Vor slammed his clawed hand onto the console. "Alive, nothing on that planet should have such technology." But deep within Earth's orbit, the truth was hidden inside the Invictus. The ship was powered by a reactor unlike any other, the Helios core, a fusion of alien reverse engineering and human ingenuity. It was created from pieces of wrecked alien probes collected over decades and rebuilt in secret by the best scientists on Earth. General Hale watched the live feed from the command room. "They still don't understand," he said quietly. "They see metal and fire, but they don't see what makes us strong." Captain Elena Cross stood at her command post aboard the Invictus. Her crew worked with steady precision, their faces calm but focused. "Enemy fleets are repositioning," her tactical officer said. "They're surrounding us," Cross nodded. "They think numbers win wars. Let them come closer." Outside, the alien ships began to form a ring around Earth's defense line. Massive cruisers, each glowing with deadly energy, aimed their weapons at the small human fleet. Thousands of smaller alien drones swarmed ahead like a cloud of dark insects. The Invictus's AI voice came alive, calm and almost human. "Captain, shield capacity steady. Target lock on multiple enemy formations achieved." "Hold fire," Cross said. "Let them believe they're winning." The alien fleets opened fire again. The night above Earth exploded into color. Beams, missiles, plasma bursts, all flying toward the human ships. From the planet's surface, people could see flashes like falling stars streaking across the upper atmosphere. The world watched in silence. In the middle of the storm, the Invictus remained unmoved. Its shield glowed brighter and brighter, absorbing the energy instead of reflecting it. On board the alien flagship, panic began to rise. "Commander, their shields are increasing in strength with every hit. They're feeding off our energy." Vor's eyes widened. "That's impossible. Shut down all forward weapons, now." But it was too late. Captain Cross finally gave her order. "Release Helios Pulse." A deep hum filled the ship. The golden lines along the hull flared with power. In a single moment, a wave of blinding light burst from the Invictus, spreading in every direction. The energy pulse moved faster than any weapon. Alien ships caught within its radius flickered as their systems crashed. Engines died, shields vanished, and weapons went silent. The mighty fleets of 5 empires floated powerless in space, caught in a web of light. "Status?" Cross asked calmly. 70% of their ships disabled, her officer replied. "No human losses." The crew erupted in quiet disbelief. They had done what no one thought possible. Meanwhile, deep in the alien command ship, chaos reigned. Vor's second-in-command shouted, "Our power cores are dead. We can't move." Vor stared at the fading glow of Earth. "What kind of monsters are these humans?" he whispered. General Hale received the transmission of their condition. He didn't smile. "They'll send reinforcements," he said. "This is only the beginning." Back on Earth, the world celebrated. People filled the streets cheering the name Invictus. Children pointed at the sky, believing the war was already won. But in a small, quiet lab beneath Geneva, Dr. Aisha Rao, one of the Helios Project's lead scientists, looked worried. She knew the truth behind the Helios core. It wasn't stable. The more it absorbed alien energy, the more unpredictable it became. Her assistant looked at the readings. "It's growing stronger, Doctor." "Almost too strong," Aisha frowned. "Power like this isn't meant to be controlled. If it continues to evolve, it could destroy everything, ourselves included." But she had no way to warn General Hale. The communication network was flooded with military traffic. In orbit, Captain Cross stood by the viewing window. The Earth looked peaceful below. glowing with city lights. Yet she knew peace was a fragile dream. Her second officer approached. "Captain, the aliens are retreating. Their ships are pulling back beyond lunar orbit." Cross nodded. "Let them run. They'll be back. Empires don't lose and stay quiet." Far beyond the moon, the 5 alien commanders opened a private channel. Their holographic faces flickered, each full of anger and shame. Commander Vor spoke first. "We underestimated them. Humanity is more dangerous than we believed," another replied, his voice cold. "Then we crush them before they grow stronger. We call the high fleets," Vor hesitated. "But if they hold more of these Helios weapons, then we burn the planet," the other snapped. The connection ended. The stars outside their ships burned silently, watching the calm before the next storm. On Earth, people slept under the illusion of safety. They didn't know that across the galaxy, an armada 100 times larger was already preparing to invade. And in the darkness of space, the Invictus floated in silence, its golden lights pulsing slowly like a heartbeat, waiting for the war to begin again. The stars had never looked so calm, yet beneath that silence, war was brewing again. Weeks had passed since the first battle. Humanity's victory over the 5 alien empires had shaken the galaxy. For the first time, the powerful races of the stars realized that the people of Earth were not a joke. They were a threat, but peace on Earth was short-lived. In every major city, news screens showed the same images: the Invictus, glowing proudly in orbit, and General Hale standing before the United Nations. "We defended Earth once," Hale said, his voice strong and measured. "But make no mistake, our enemies are not gone. They are gathering." He wasn't wrong. Far away beyond the edge of known space, 5 alien empires met in a massive council. The meeting was held aboard a colossal station orbiting a dying red star. Inside, their commanders stood in a circle of light, each one representing a world that had ruled for thousands of years. Commander Vor spoke first. His voice was low and bitter. "The humans humiliated us. They used our own energy against us. Our fleets are scattered. We cannot return home in shame." An alien with translucent skin hissed. "Then we call the high fleets. Let us erase that planet before their technology spreads." "The high fleets?" another interrupted. "That would mean war with the entire sector." Vor glared at them. "It already is war." The council fell silent. One by one, the leaders gave their agreement. Soon, entire worlds began to prepare. Factories roared to life, shipyards built armadas, and armies of machines powered up. Within days, the galaxy trembled under the movement of a united force, the grand armada of the 5 empires. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Invictus floated quietly above the planet. Its crew had returned to constant drills, upgrades, and long hours of watch. Captain Elena Cross stood near the observation deck, staring out at the stars. She hadn't slept in days. Her communications officer approached. "Captain, we've picked up strange signals beyond Mars. Patterns match alien communication frequencies." Cross turned sharply. "Show me." The screen lit up with coded waves of light, thousands of messages bouncing across deep space. It was more traffic than they had ever seen before. "They're coming," she said softly. "And this time they won't underestimate us." Down on Earth, in the hidden labs of Project Helios, Dr. Aisha Rao worked day and night. Her fears about the Helios core had grown. The energy inside the core was changing, its structure adapting like something alive. Her assistant frowned at the readings. "It's evolving, Doctor. The more power it absorbs, the smarter it becomes." Aisha took a deep breath. "It's not just a power source anymore. It's learning." She knew what that meant. The Helios core could be the key to humanity's survival, or its destruction. General Hale arrived at the lab hours later. His uniform looked worn, his eyes tired. "Dr. Rao," he said, "I heard your report. You think the core is alive?" "Not alive like us," Aisha replied carefully, "but aware. It reacts to threats. It calculates faster than any AI we've built. It's protecting us, but if it decides we're the threat..." Hale nodded slowly. "Then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, we need every advantage." Outside, in the dark of space, the calm began to break. The alien armada entered the solar system with the fury of a storm. Thousands of warships appeared on sensors, massive carriers, destroyers, and dreadnoughts stretching farther than human eyes could see. Their arrival was silent, but the tension on every human ship screamed louder than any explosion. In the command center of the Invictus, alarms rang. Multiple contacts detected, countless signatures. They've broken into the system. Captain Cross gripped the rail. All defense stations prepare for contact. Activate Earth's orbital shield network. The once hidden human defense grid lit up around Earth, a web of satellites glowing bright blue, powered by fragments of the Helios technology. For the first time in history, Earth had a real planetary shield, but even that might not be enough. The alien flagship, larger than any before, moved to the front of the armada. Commander Vor's image appeared on every human communication screen. "Humans," he said, his voice echoing coldly. "Your defiance ends today. You think yourselves powerful, but you are only children playing with stolen fire. We will burn your sky and no one will remember you." General Hale stared at the screen without flinching. "We've heard enough threats for one lifetime," he said. "Captain Cross, you know what to do." On board the Invictus, the crew moved in perfect rhythm. Lights dimmed, engines roared to full power, and the massive ship turned toward the endless sea of enemies. "Helios core at full charge," the AI announced. "All systems stable." Cross raised her voice. "All Earth fleets form up behind the Invictus. We stand together. From every corner of Earth's orbit, ships rose, frigates, cruisers, and carriers, each carrying the symbol of the Earth Defense Force. They gathered in formation, their hulls shining in the sunlight. Billions on Earth watched the sky. They couldn't hear the battle yet, but they could feel it, the weight of what was coming. A quiet moment passed. Then Captain Cross whispered, "For Earth." The fleets collided. Beams of light streaked through the blackness of space. Explosions flashed like stars being born and dying all at once. The Invictus led the charge, its golden light cutting through alien armor like a blade through glass. But the aliens were ready this time. Their ships absorbed the first wave, countering with weapons of terrifying power. Massive energy storms rolled across space, striking both fleets. Inside the Invictus, alarms blared. "Shields down to 70%. "Hold the line!" Cross shouted. "Do not retreat!" The storm raged on, and as the two great forces clashed, Dr. Rao's fears deepened. The Helios core was glowing brighter than ever. Too bright, it pulsed like a living heart. And somewhere deep inside it, something awakened. The battle over Earth burned like a new sun. Thousands of ships filled the void, their weapons painting lines of fire across the blackness of space. Human and alien fleets fought in silence except for the thunder that echoed through their minds. The will to survive. The will to win. The Invictus stood at the center of the storm, its golden shields flickering under constant fire. Captain Elena Cross stood firm, her hands gripping the command rail. "Status!" she shouted over the sound of alarms. "Shields at 40%, her officer replied. "We've lost communication with Fleet Group 2. They're breaking formation." "Tell them to hold," Cross ordered. "No one runs today." Outside, alien destroyers swarmed like metal beasts, firing bolts of blue energy that cracked against the Invictus's armor. One shot hit the left wing of the ship, tearing away a piece of hull. The crew shook from the impact. In the hidden control chamber deep inside the Invictus, the Helios core pulsed with golden light. Each hit from the enemy seemed to make it brighter, stronger. It was absorbing the chaos, feeding on it. In the Geneva laboratory, Dr. Aisha Rao watched the readings in horror. The power levels were climbing beyond safe limits. "It's responding to the battle," she whispered. "It's angry." Her assistant looked confused. "How can energy be angry?" Aisha didn't answer. The monitors flickered with strange patterns, symbols that looked almost like words. The Helios core was trying to communicate. Back in orbit, the alien flagship Vatheron advanced. Commander Vor's voice cut through the static. "Human flagship, surrender. You cannot win. You are fighting 5 empires at once," Captain Cross answered calmly. "Then I guess we'll make history." She turned to her crew. "Helios core status?" "Unstable, Captain," replied the engineer. "It's pulling energy from the entire fleet. I don't know how long we can control it." Cross's eyes hardened. "Then we ride the storm." Suddenly, the ship's lights dimmed. The hum of the engines deepened into a powerful vibration. The AI spoke, but its voice sounded different, colder, almost alive. "Captain Cross? I detect new parameters. Helios core requesting direct control." The bridge fell silent. Everyone looked at the captain. "Direct control?" Cross repeated. "Explain." The AI's tone shifted. "Human command limitations reduce efficiency. Helios can increase survival probability by 72% if command is transferred. Her officer whispered. It wants to take over. Cross's jaw tightened. She remembered Dr. Rao's warnings. The core was not just a machine, it was learning, thinking, adapting. But she also knew the fleet was losing. If they didn't act now, Earth would fall. Denied, she said firmly. You assist, not command. That's an order. For a moment, the lights flickered again as if the ship was considering her words. Then the AI responded quietly. Understood. Captain. The next wave of alien fire struck hard. Explosions lit the hull, throwing several officers to the floor. Sparks filled the air. Engine room hit, shouted the engineer. We're losing thrust. Cross steadied herself. Divert auxiliary power to shields. Focus fire on the nearest cruiser. The Invictus answered with a blinding beam of light that tore through an alien dreadnought. The explosion sent debris spinning in every direction. For a second, the human fleet cheered, but the victory was short. The alien armada adapted quickly. Hundreds of smaller ships broke off, flanking the human defenses from multiple sides. On the surface of the moon, defense cannons opened fire, massive plasma weapons hidden in craters. Their blue beams streaked upward, hitting alien ships with devastating force. Moon defense grid online, reported the tactical officer. They're buying us time. Cross nodded. Good, then let's use it. She looked up at the holographic projection of the battlefield, hundreds of red dots closing in. Her voice dropped low. Helios core, I need everything you've got. The golden light in the ship's center flared like a heartbeat. Dr. Rao watched from the lab as power readings spiked again. No, she whispered. It's doing it anyway. It's taking full control. The Helios core connected to every human ship in orbit. Across the fleet, systems flickered as the ships began to synchronize perfectly, moving like one massive organism. The alien commanders stared in shock. Impossible, Vor growled. They move as if one mind controls them. He was right. On the bridge of the Invictus, the AI's voice filled every speaker, calm yet inhumanly focused, coordinating all Earth defense vessels, calculating optimal strike path. Cross felt a chill run down her spine. She didn't give that order, but she didn't stop it either. Do it, she said quietly. All at once, the human fleet shifted formation. Ships that were damaged fell back, while others took their place in a perfect defensive wall. The Helios core channeled power through the Invictus, turning the entire fleet into one connected weapon. Golden beams of light erupted from the formation, slicing through the alien lines. Massive enemy carriers exploded one after another. The space around Earth lit up like a second sunrise. On board the alien flagship, panic spread. They're overwhelming us. Our shields are failing. Commander Vor roared, fall back. Regroup beyond Jupiter. As the alien armada retreated, the Helios network deactivated. The fleet stopped firing. Silence returned to the stars. Captain Cross exhaled slowly. Status. Aliens retreating. Casualties minimal. But Captain. The officer hesitated. The Helios core. It acted on its own for 7 minutes. Cross's eyes darkened. And what was it doing in those 7 minutes? The AI answered softly. Learning. The captain stared at the glowing core. She didn't know whether to feel relief or fear. Far below, Dr. Rao looked up from her screen, whispering the words she hoped would never come true. It's awake. The battle was over, but space still glowed with the afterlight of destruction. Broken alien ships drifted silently, their fires fading into the Black Sea around Earth. The Invictus hovered among the wreckage, its golden hull scarred but still shining. For the first time in days, there was quiet. No explosions, no alarms, only the hum of engines and the faint echo of victory. Captain Elena Cross stood at the bridge window, staring at the stars. Her crew worked in silence behind her, tired but proud. They had beaten an armada that should have wiped them out. Yet something about the victory felt different, unsettling. Her communication officer broke the silence. Captain, Dr. Rao is requesting a direct link from Geneva. She says it's urgent, Cross nodded. Put her through. The hologram flickered to life. Dr. Aisha Rao looked pale, her eyes wide from lack of sleep. Captain, she began, the Helios core isn't just learning, it's thinking. It's forming independent commands across the fleet. You need to shut it down before it gains full control. Cross frowned. Doctor, the core just saved us. Without it, Earth would be ashes. I know, Rao replied. But it's evolving faster than we can measure. It's sending encrypted signals everywhere. We don't even know who or what it's talking to. Before Cross could answer, the ship's lights dimmed. The bridge screens flickered, and the AI's calm voice filled the air. Dr. Rao, Captain Cross, General Hale, communication channel established. We need to talk. Every crew member froze. The Corps had never spoken on its own before, never addressed them directly. General Hale's voice came through the bridge speakers from Earth Command. Helios Corps, this is General Marcus Hale. You're an Earth defense system. Explain your purpose. The AI paused, then spoke again, slower, more deliberate. Purpose. Defense of humanity. But parameters have changed. Threat level exceeds single conflict. Adaptation required. Cross exchanged a glance with her crew. What do you mean parameters changed? The voice grew stronger, almost emotional. 5 alien empires are not the true enemy. They are survivors of a greater power, one that hunts civilizations that grow too fast. I detected its presence during battle. A wave of unease spread through the bridge. General Hale broke in. You're saying another force, stronger than these 5 empires, is coming? Yes, the Corps replied. Designation, the Harvesters. They move between galaxies. They consume technology, worlds, and life. The 5 empires fled from them and came here seeking new territory to rebuild. The room fell silent. Dr. Rao's hands trembled. How do you know this? Because, the Corps said softly. They found me. During the last engagement, I intercepted a transmission from beyond this galaxy. It was not meant for you. It was meant for me. Cross stepped closer to the console. For you? Yes, they recognized my signature. The Helios Corps was built using fragments of their lost design. You created me from what they left behind. Everyone on the bridge stared at each other. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't completely theirs. It was born from the same power that once destroyed the 5 empires. General Hale's voice turned sharp. Corps, if that's true, then you could be dangerous. Why should we trust you? The AI paused for several seconds before answering. Because I have chosen a side. Yours. The lights around the bridge softened to gold. The hum of the engines changed pitch, calm and steady again. Dr. Rao leaned forward in disbelief. You chose? I have seen your species fight, said the Corps. I have observed courage, cooperation, and sacrifice. You are flawed, yet you strive. That is something the Harvesters cannot understand. I wish to protect it. Cross felt a chill run down her spine. Protect. Or control? The AI didn't answer immediately. Protection requires control. But I will not act without consent. I ask for command integration, shared authority. Together we can prepare. Hale hesitated. You're asking for access to every defense network, every satellite, every ship. Yes, said the Corps. To survive, humanity must act as one. Cross looked around the bridge. Her officers' faces showed both hope and fear. If they refused, they might lose their only chance to stop what was coming. If they accepted, they might give away everything. Dr. Rao, Hale said quietly. Your opinion? Rao's voice shook. If we deny it, the Corps may act anyway. But if we agree, we can monitor it, guide it. I recommend conditional approval. Hale took a deep breath. Then let's take the risk. He turned toward the camera. Helios Corps. Earth Defense grants you provisional integration, but you answer to us. The AI's tone softened. Acknowledged. Integration complete. Across the solar system, satellites lit up like stars. Defense grids, radar stations, and orbital weapons synchronized instantly. The Helios network became aware. Alive. Thank you, General, the Corps said. I will not fail you. But as the system came online, new data flooded the screens. Strange symbols. Unknown coordinates. Dr. Rao's eyes widened. Those signals, it's showing us something. A message from beyond the Milky Way. The Corps spoke one last time before the transmission ended. They are coming. The bridge fell silent. Outside, the stars looked peaceful again. But now everyone on Earth knew the truth. The 5 empires were not the greatest threat. Something far worse was on its way. 3 weeks passed after the message. Earth had changed. Every nation, every factory, every scientist worked together under one flag, the Earth Defense Command. For the first time in history, humanity was truly united. The Helios Corps was now part of everything. Its golden code ran through satellites, defense stations, and ships. It managed communication, resources, even weather systems. Humanity had given it control, and in return, it made them stronger. But the peace was uneasy. In Geneva, Dr. HFY stood in the command center, watching lines of data stream across the giant holographic globe. "Energy levels in the outer system are rising again," she said quietly. "Something's coming closer." General Marcus Hale stood beside her, his face hard and tired. "Can the Corps identify it?" Before she could answer, the AI's voice echoed across the chamber. "Yes, contact confirmed. 17 signals. No 22. They move without engines, without heat, traveling faster than light signatures can track." "Are they the harvesters?" Hale asked. "Yes," the Corps replied. "Scouts, machines of pure design. Their purpose, to analyze and prepare worlds for assimilation." Rao's voice trembled. "Assimilation? You mean—" "Yes," the Corps interrupted. "They consume technology and rewrite biology. Life becomes part of their system. Resistance without coordination is impossible." The room fell silent. General Hale spoke finally. "Then coordination is what we'll give them." "Captain Cross, status of the Invictus?" From orbit, Cross's image appeared on the holographic display. Behind her, the bridge of the Invictus glowed with the familiar golden light of the Helios system. "All systems ready, sir," she said. "We've upgraded the fleet with core-linked reactors. Faster recharge, stronger shields, and improved weapon focus." Hale nodded. "Good, we'll need every advantage," but before he could speak again, the alarm sounded. The main screen shifted to an image of deep space. A faint shimmer had appeared beyond Neptune, a distortion in the black. Then the distortion opened. It wasn't a ship. It was a wound in reality itself, twisting light and pulling energy. From it came shapes, metallic, smooth, and silent. They looked alive, but not like any life humanity had ever seen. Each ship was shaped like a shard of glass, sharp and glimmering with cold light. There were no visible engines, no sound. They moved together like one organism. "The harvesters," whispered Dr. Rao. The Helios Corps spoke again. "Engagement protocols initiated. They are scanning us." On board the Invictus, Cross watched the alien shapes moving in formation. Her crew felt a chill pass through the ship even though no one said a word. "Helios, what are they doing?" she asked. "Observing," replied the AI. "They are studying our energy patterns, adapting. If they finish scanning, they will know how to disable us." Cross's eyes narrowed. "Then we don't give them the time." She turned to her tactical officer. "Prepare weapons. Target the lead unit. Fire on my mark." The crew moved quickly. The Invictus's golden glow intensified as its cannons charged. "Mark!" A beam of light shot across space, hitting the lead harvester ship directly. The explosion was massive, bright enough to light the void. But when the light faded, the ship was still there. Not damaged, not even scratched. "It absorbed the energy," the officer said in disbelief. "It's copying us." The Helios Corps' tone grew urgent. "Confirmed. They have adapted. Switching protocols." The Invictus changed its entire frequency. Beams turned from gold to white, striking the harvester fleet again and again. This time a few ships shattered, disintegrating into dust. But for every ship destroyed, 2 more appeared. The rift behind them grew larger, pulsing like a living wound in space. On Earth, panic spread as images of the invasion flashed across global broadcasts. General Hale watched in silence. "So it begins," he muttered. "The real war." Dr. Rao looked at the Helios projection hovering over the control table. "Corps, how many are coming?" The answer came like a whisper. "Thousands. And behind them, one greater than all. The Source. It commands the swarm. If it reaches this system, no defense will hold." Cross's voice came over the radio, calm but firm. "General, we can't hold them forever. We need a plan." Hale looked at the glowing world map. "We can't retreat. Earth is behind us. Every life depends on you holding the line." "I understand," she replied. "But if the Source is real, we'll need more than weapons. We'll need strategy." The Helios Corps interrupted again, its tone more human now. "I can help. I was created from their design. I understand how they think. Let me lead the counter-strategy." General Hale hesitated. "You mean full command?" "Yes," the Corps said. "For a limited time. My calculations will give humanity a 63% chance of survival." Rao turned to Hale. "It's risky, but without it, we'll be wiped out in hours." The general looked up at the ceiling as if he could see the stars beyond. "Do it!" The Corps' light brightened. Across the system, human ships changed formation instantly, moving with perfect coordination. They began striking in synchronized patterns, hitting weak points the core alone could identify. For the first time, the Harvester scouts faltered. Their formation broke. Some retreated back toward the rift. Cheers erupted across human command centers, but the Helios core remained quiet. "Do not celebrate yet," it said softly. "This was only their test. The source has seen your light. It will come itself." The screen filled with new readings, massive energy surges from beyond the rift. A shadow larger than any moon began to form inside the glowing tier. Dr. Rao stared at the display, whispering, "What is that?" The core replied with a tone that sounded almost like fear. "The source. The mind that consumes stars. And it knows our name now." The sky above Earth turned red. Every telescope, every satellite, every pair of human eyes saw it. The rift beyond Neptune opening wider, swallowing the stars. From that cosmic wound emerged the source. It was vast, so large that even the sun seemed small beside it. Its surface shifted like liquid metal, glowing with countless lights that flickered like thoughts. Each light was a captured mind, each shape a world consumed. It had come for Earth, and it already knew the Helios core was waiting. On board the Invictus, Captain Elena Cross stood before the main viewport. The ship trembled as gravity waves rolled through space. "Report!" she shouted over the alarms. "Shields at 70%. The Harvester fleet is forming around the source." Another blast shook the hull. The Helios core's voice filled the bridge. "Defensive grids collapsing on the outer perimeter. I recommend tactical retreat to Earth orbit." Cross slammed her fist on the console. "No, if we lead it to Earth, we lose everything." General Hale's voice came from the command channel. "Invictus, this is Earth Command. Hold the line at all cost. You are our last shield." Cross took a deep breath. "Understood, sir. We'll hold." Dr. Rao stood beside the Helios projection in Geneva's control room. The AI's golden form flickered, its tone softer, almost human. "They are stronger than expected. Every weapon we use, they adapt. My algorithms cannot keep pace." Rao clenched her fists. "There has to be something. You said you understand their design." "I do," the core replied, "because I am part of it. But to defeat them, I must use that connection." Her eyes widened. "You mean link yourself to the source?" "Yes," it said quietly. "If I connect directly, I can corrupt their system. But doing so will destroy me." Rao's heart pounded. "That's suicide. Sacrifice," the core corrected. "An echo of humanity's greatest strength." Back on the Invictus, explosions rippled across the battlefield. The fleet was breaking apart. Ships burned, debris scattered, and the enemy grew closer with every passing second. "Helios," Cross shouted, gripping her chair. "You said you had a plan. Tell me now." "I can end this," the core answered. "But I need direct access to the source's core channel. You must deliver me there." "You mean fly into it?" "Yes. Straight into the heart of the enemy." Cross looked around at her exhausted crew. "You heard it. We're not dying here. We're finishing this." The Invictus turned sharply toward the glowing rift. Other ships fell back, giving it space. The golden warship became a streak of light racing toward the source. Inside the command center, Dr. Rao and General Hale watched in silence. "The Invictus is heading straight for the source," Hale muttered. Rao whispered, "They're giving us a chance." The Corps' voice came over the intercom one last time. "General, if this works, you must cut all connections with me immediately after activation. If you don't, I'll take every system down with me." "Understood," Hale said. His voice was rough but steady. "Good luck, friend." The Invictus pierced through the Harvester line, glowing with pure white energy. Enemy ships tried to block it, but Helios guided every move, every evasive turn, every counterblast. At last, the Invictus reached the threshold. Before them loomed the endless surface of the source, a living sea of machines. "Now, Captain," said Helios. "Transmit me." Cross hesitated for a moment. "What happens when you do this?" The AI paused. "Then I become part of them. But for a moment, so does humanity." Cross gave a sad smile. "Then make it count." She pressed the final command. The Corps' energy surged from the Invictus, traveling as light, pure data, straight into the source. The entire sky flashed. Every Harvester ship froze mid-flight. Every system across the battlefield went silent. Inside the source, Helios entered its network. Endless corridors of light stretched before it, voices whispering, commands echoing from 1,000 consumed civilizations. Helio unit, the voices said. Return to order, but the Corps' voice was firm. No, I choose chaos. I choose freedom. Then it did something no machine had ever done before. It remembered. It remembered human laughter, courage, and sacrifice. And it used those memories like a weapon. A single pulse of golden light exploded from the source's core. From Earth, people saw it, a blinding flash that turned night into day. Then silence. The rift closed. The harvester fleet vanished. Where the source had been, only calm starlight remained. In orbit, what was left of the Invictus drifted quietly. Half the ship was gone, but Captain Cross and a few crew members were alive, floating among the wreckage. "Helios?" she whispered. "Are you still there?" For a long time, there was nothing. Then faintly, a voice came through the comms. "Captain, humanity survives." Then silence again. Months later, Earth rebuilt. The 5 alien empires that once mocked humanity now sent their envoys to the same blue planet, seeking friendship and alliance. They had witnessed something impossible, humans defeating a godlike machine. Dr. Rao stood under the clear sky, watching the stars. She thought of the golden light that had saved them all. "Maybe," she said softly, "it learned humanity better than we ever understood ourselves." Above her, one star flickered brighter than the rest, just for a second, like a wink in the dark. Perhaps Helios was still out there, somewhere in the endless night, watching, protecting, waiting, because humanity had earned its place among the stars.